and there are people yelling in my hallway. My apartment complex, everybody, and yes, this is going in the final build. That said, welcome everybody to the Slab Lounge. I am your host, I'm your host, Captain K. Sorry, I'm Doug Metten, aka Goblecoque, and with me, as always, is the ever faithful co-host, the super cool Captain K. The Slab Lounge today is brought to you by Obama brand pancakes. Once you eat it, you'll feel like you've killed Bin Laden. And by an angry emu. If you're wondering why emus are always angry, just ask them yourselves. So that said, Captain, have you heard about Kentaro Miura?
Not really. What's going?
Oh, he died.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, he died like on May 6th. Outlets started reporting on it now, and I'm just all like, oh man. Oh,
that's also disconcerting.
I know, right?
Birthday. So it's like, okay.
Yeah. So I'm just all like, oh man. And when I found out about that, I figured not. Like, I was thinking, like, maybe we could talk about, like, writing and stuff, considering how, like it or not, well, because, like, Berserk influenced basically a lot of stuff in the said time. And while I'm going to keep it light and fluffy, best way to do that, let's talk about, like, our respective writings of Doom. Because a little on me, when I started writing, I was doing nothing but fanfics. In fact, I wrote an entire movie script when I was a kid involving Donkey Kong, who had to revive Cranky Kong using the crystal coconut, which is a callback to that CG Donkey Kong series ABC Family had in the weekends. Oh my god!
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was so it involved Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Funky Kong. At the time, it was originally supposed to be Conker, but like when I wrote this script up, Microsoft had just bought Rare from Nintendo, so I couldn't use Conker anymore, and I had to replace him with someone, and I replaced him with Link. Yeah. It was to be fair, I can honestly say like most of the writing. Well, when you're a kid and you're doing writing, like, you think it's awesome, but then, like, as you get older, your tastes mature, and you look back on it, you're like, holy crap, I wrote this, I was fucking stupid. What the fuck was I thinking?
That always does happen when you write at a young age. You go back and you're like, oh yeah, I wrote it. What is this trash?
Yeah.
Like, you want to burn it and pretend like it never existed.
I know, right? For the most part, like, that's how I felt. I say for the most part, because there are some bits that stand out. For instance, at one point, Donkey Kong gets captured, and Diddy Kong, he has this memory of how Donkey Kong was caring for him when Diddy had nowhere to go, because he was essentially homeless or something like that, and Cranky Kong just denied him like any access. So Donkey Kong leads him into the banana cave from like the SNES, from Donkey Kong Country. From there, they would eat bananas like in secret. Eventually, like the Diddy Kong would live with Donkey Kong, and the two would be best friends. But like, so this particular scene. I remember, this was like, I was just making fun of The Lion King. You know that scene where Mufasa's head forms in the clouds, and he's all like, you did, like, Simba, blah, 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 blah. I essentially did that with Donkey Kong, and he was like, Diddy, help me. Don't worry, bro. I'm gonna get your, I'll get you out of that jam. No problem. So he runs off camera, and Donkey Kong's like, pick me up a bucket of chicken. Fuck you! Fuck you! It's funny, like, the other bit that really stood out was, in all honesty, Diddy Kong's personality. Because, fun fact, if any of you have watched Attack on Gossip, I'll link to it, where you can watch it. Armin's personality was literally recycled from Diddy Kong, who I intentionally made to be a condescending, intelligent douchebag. To anybody that pisses him off. Yeah, no, that's just Diddy Kong's entire spiel. Another thing that stood out was I forgot, I was writing up the Sega script. I don't remember much from it other than the fact that Vector Man was trying to get out of retirement because he was sick of, being retired. I eventually wanted them to do, this huge crossover on the Isle of Delfino from Mario Sunshine. And, the crew, Nintendo's crew would be this: Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, and Link. Sega crew would be Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Vector Man. And everyone would split off in pairs of twos. Now, Diddy Kong and Tails intentionally had the same personality, so when they would meet up, they would just be, they wouldn't one-up, they started one-upping each other, and eventually they hugged it out as if they were like, my brother from another console. Oh my god, I'm not alone.
Lord.
Yeah. Oh man, you think that's bad? Knuckles was a fucking I made him to be this sex crazed wanting maniac. If any of you watched Married with Children, he's kind of like Bud Bundy in that he's really, really, really horny. But not intelligent at all. So I forget what the two would end, Nintendo and Sega were going, the premise was Nintendo and Sega were entering a business deal, and it would be signed it would be signed at the Isle of Delfino. Donkey Kong and his group would serve as liaisons because in my parody, not parodies, in the movie script, Mario was kind of looked down upon despite him being the face of the company. But there's something happens. I don't remember what it was. So the two, everybody would pair up. Sonic and Donkey Kong would pair up. Tails and Diddy Kong would pair up. Funky Kong and Vector Man would pair up. And Link, he intentionally pairs up with Knuckles. The reason being is because the first thing, you see with Knuckles doing is he's hitting on one of the Piantas in the Isle of Delfino from Mario Sunshine. And he's all like, hey, I know what you what happens when you have big hands. I see you don't have a mouth or something like that. So Link intentionally pairs up with him. He's like, I am the hero of time. Therefore, it is my duty to find someone so ugly that you yourself will not sleep with. So Link shows a picture of Zelda's mother. He's all like, ah! Well, actually, if you turn it on its side... What the fuck?! Eventually, I honestly don't remember why. Eventually, all of them end up at the Roivus Mansion from Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Link and Knuckles, they come across this one maid who's dead but is a ghost. And she's like, I can't get this blood out. And Link's all like, well, I mean, I got some modern cleaners that can help get the blood out. And she's like, really? Knuckles is all like, yeah, the cleaner's in my penis. Dude, Link's like, dude, she's a ghost. Yeah, she is. What does that even mean? Oh my god, that shit was, oh, yeah. Oh my god, it was so fun. It was Sonic and Donkey Kong would be butting heads to see who's the better leader. Eventually, though, what happens at one point was Candy Kong, Donkey Kong's obsessed girlfriend, shows up. The two hide, and then Donkey Kong's like, yeah, that's a... So, he starts to bond with Sonic as Sonic starts talking about Amy and how clingy she can get. And so, you'd think there'd be, this moment of harmony. And then, out of nowhere, Sonic's like, well, that's why I have, the bigger fan base. And Donkey Kong's like, no, you don't. I have the bigger fan base. I found Mario. Well, yeah, but you don't. Yeah, but you don't have anything. No. Look, I have the better fan base. Oh yeah, why are your games crap? You want to call it? And then they start arguing again. Yeah. Tails and Diddy Kong would not actually participate in the mystery at all. They're just going around making fun of people and laughing about it. Eventually they bark. I think they bark up the wrong tree, and this one dude basically I think he outsmarts them or something. It was a Pianta or something like that, or Toadsworth. I honestly don't remember because I haven't. Oh man, it's been so long. It's been so long. I don't even remember what like Funky Kong's personality was. But yeah, God, yeah, fanfics.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I was just like, yeah. So like, I think that's actually what started my whole taking popular stuff and putting them in real world scenarios, like we're doing right now with Attack on Gossip. Eventually, The Walking Barbecue, or Speed of the Hill, or or that Yugi Bro bit where Tristan and Joey like give each other the Dutch rudder. So it's like, yeah. We just I think that's where it really started. Yeah, I mean, like, it's you're gonna be writing a lot of crap when you're starting out. Okay, like, let's just get that out. Yeah, I mean, like, but the stuff that really makes you happy and sticks with your mind, you basically want to keep that and like use that for later. Because, like I said, Armin's character is completely based off of Diddy Kong's character from my old fanfic, from my old movie script, because he's a condescending douchebag and completely intelligent. The only difference is, yeah, Diddy Kong doesn't cross-dress. Armin does. So, yeah. But yeah, hey, you want to open up about some of your writing?
I mean, sure. I hate that I've not been as progressive on it as much as I have because it's still very scattered. But sure. I mean, one of them's been an ongoing. I want to say struggle, but I don't really feel like it's a struggle because I'm not having difficulty writing it. I'm just having difficulty creating it feasibly. But basically, there's a series of novels that I was trying to make, but basically the first novel in it, and the biggest flaw in the novel for me isn't necessarily the characters, the story, although I'm slightly adjusting my story, or even the concepts, is literally in my world building that like nobody's gonna have to really care about, but something bugs me about the way I constructed it, so I can't move forward till I figure it out.
Oh,
and the condensed version to explain that is in this story. It's basically a supernatural story, but it's not bound by like the constraints of only one supernatural thing or only one myth exists. No, like anything, everyone's. And the reason for that is essentially being that at this point, God and the devil are dead. So there's no barrier that would normally block out what would technically be any other deities or anything else like that, or anything that would exist within parallel realms.
Mm-hmm.
And so they could just pop on in when they felt like it. But my flaw is there is a system of control to keep them out, but I haven't fully fleshed it out because I started to, and then I ended up making loopholes in my own rules, and it went horribly. So everything else story-based wise is fine, but world-wise, it's kind of like, all right, it's not hard to cut God and the devil out of a story, but it's hard to explain why other deities are. So.
Oh, okay. I might actually be able to help you with that, because this is some fucking spooky shit. Like, what I mean by that is, get this, I was kind of working on something similar, like, recently, because, like, I don't think I told you that. It was like, yeah, while, yes, I'm fine with comedy, like, I do want to focus on, like, some serious stuff. So off camera, yeah. I'm going to be, like, let's say this podcast ends, like, right now. We're going to be talking, like, more about that, like, in all honesty, because I got to tell you about them and how that entire, like, system works. Because because, like, honestly, when I tell you about it, you're going to be like, dude, what the, have you been, like, reading my mind or something? Because this is some spooky shit. Like, in terms of, like, I'm serious, it's so fucking similar, and, so, yeah, anyway, But yeah, like no, I know exactly. Like sometimes when you're just like, yeah, no, let's do this. Oh shit, I have a plot hole. Because like, didn't the same thing happen with J.K. Rowling when she was like writing up like the Harry Potter novels or whatever? She had to like,
Yeah.
yeah,
She kind of danced around it, and then at some point she just kind of like ignore it because if it's unfixable. Because as a writer, you're aware of when you create plot holes. Like at some point, you realize there's a plot hole. But if you don't know how to address it, you just kind of like don't say anything and then wait to see if anybody else notices it.
you know what's weird?
It's not a great tactic, but it's just when you create a plot hole that basically is going to result in you having to redo the whole book. And it's only like one small little thing. Most of the time you're like, we can just move past that. I'm sure that won't destroy everything. And then some troll somewhere is like, the whole story is undone. I can't. And you're just like, why?
Yeah, but like, what's weird is who was it? I think yeah, Joey. Like he's a big movie buff. He was telling me like Steven Spielberg when he was filming Jurassic Park, like people came up to him like say like it's like I think it was the Jeep scene where the T-Rex came out, and then all of a sudden like the enclosure or whatever turned into like this big giant pit, and like people addressed that to him like in the movie crew. They were like, hey, yeah, why does it go from like this flat field to a large pit? That's a huge plot hole. And Spielberg's like, I don't care. So he straight up did not give a shit about plot holes whatsoever.
Sometimes it's not a good thing to do, but sometimes for what you need, there'll be a plot hole. It'll be obvious, but you're just hoping that people will understand what you did enough to be like, I get why that plot hole's there, but it's there.
Oh yeah,
like
fucking Dragon Ball.
Because I admit there's.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I admit there's tons of series and like movies and stuff that I've loved, and like I love wholeheartedly, and will be like that's my favorite. But if someone was like, "Hey, there's a plot hole," I'd be like, "Yes, there is. There's a huge plot hole. I don't like it any less, but no, there's definite plot holes sitting right."
Yeah. Oh, there are tons of plot holes. Like Dragon Ball Z is like rife with them. I mean, like that's full of fucking plot holes.
The whole series is plot hole.
Yeah.
If you want to technically go from Dragon Ball Z is plot holes itself.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty fucking much. Oh my god, it's full of that shit.
Like Super is the best they have to be trying to be like, you know, all those 60 billion plot holes we just never talked about. We're gonna try to fix some of them, and then inadvertently, even in that, are like, hey, I know we created another plot hole, but we'll deal with that later. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Fucking like a ton. Like, and it's not just that. It's not just like Dragon Ball. Like, pretty much, superhero comics industry in general has a shitload of plot holes.
Yeah. That's usually why they have to cop out and reboot their universes or characters at some point, because so many stack up to a degree that you're like, okay, we gotta deal with some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hell, Psylocke. Psylocke's whole life in comics is just confusing. Like, she got mental swapped at one point, so then there were like two different Psylocks, but in two different bodies, and then got killed and then resurrected. It's... Ugh.
Hey, how do you think I felt when I heard about how Dr. Octopus became Spider-Man for a bit? Like, I was like, wait, what? Look, I understand that you want to retire Peter Parker. Like, I get that. They already tried that once with the with the Spider-Man clone saga with Ben Reilly. But to just swap brainwaves and let Peter die, and then and then Doc Octopus was all like, "Oh my God! As a sign of penance, I'll continue on the legacy of Spider-Man." That is such a huge fuck you to the audience too, and I'm just all like,
I mean, it kind of is, because it was like, you obviously know Doc Ock is not the most evil of all the villains, but at the same time, you'd be like, really, Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm. So fucking
like,
stupid.
and two of the people that are the smartest of all their kinds, not counting, you know, Reed Richards over there, because you can't just call him on demand. But But it's not like in that moment Doc Ock will be like, hey, Reed, I know we don't get along, but, like, no. So, but between the two of them, I still find it hard that Doc Ock wouldn't have been like, I can save Spider-Man. I mean, I attached metal octopus arms to my spine. I feel like he could have saved.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a point where you can blatantly tell in comics like, hold on, both of you should be capable of saving someone's life one way. Because at least Gwen Stacy in her death, it made sense. They blamed it on physics more than anything else, even though he felt guilty. It was like, okay, physics makes sense suddenly in comic. All the other times he's done this and it's been fine. But Gwen Stacy, nah, the physics was strong with her. She was too level-headed, too grounded, that gravity took hold. That's just what happened.
Strong with her. Wow. Okay.
I'm just saying, like, if you think about it in the comics, Gwen Stacy dies that way.
Mm-hmm.
But in all other comics, he has thrown webbing out. People have been fine. They've been smacked against a wall from the webbing. Fine. He's snatched them out of midair. Fine. Gwen Stacy. Like, comic-wise, that's a weird thing. There's only one. Even after her. That still never happens again. Spider-Man didn't change his routine. He still does the same exact stuff. Just no one else died from it. Just Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, just Gwen Stacy. Because, like, obviously the writing gods just don't like Gwen Stacy. You think that's no, it's not just Gwen Stacy. Like, take fuck, what the hell's his name? Otacon from Metal Gear Solid. Like, I don't know why. God, like, Kojima just did not like. He could not have any nice things. First, he tried to have like, oh, I like Sniper Wolf. Nope, she's dead. Then, like, what's it? I have to save my sister. Nope, she dies too. And then in Metal Gear Solid 4, he and Naomi, like, he got lucky with Naomi Campbell, which, to be fair, like, you know, mad props to the guy. I would totally, yes. Anyway, what happens? She just kills herself. Like, obviously God does not like fucking Otacon. He does not. God is like, nope, Otacon cannot have any nice things whatsoever. None. Oh. No. Oh, yes, you had sex
If he has nice things, he'll be boring. He can't. He has to stay interesting. Be gone.
Whatever. I mean, like, here's the most interesting thing about him is usually when he pisses himself.
Meh. Yeah. No, but I mean, there's technically, comic-wise, there's a person who's shitted on, like, harder than anybody else, but just isn't talked about.
Who?
And there's technically Firelord. How many times has the Herald, known as Firelord, been technically killed? Because think about it, all the other Heralds at some point went into existence, was a Herald, kind of somewhat retired or what, with the exception of like the first Herald who had to be sealed away for obvious reasons. But that's different. But of the other ones, Firelord, which I think was the second, even when he got introduced, I think he got killed in his comic. He got resurrected. Then he got killed again. Then he got resurrected as the AI of Galactus' computer. And then the computer was destroyed. And then later he got like a pseudo cybernetic body and his brain was put in it, which later in a Battle of the Heralds was destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, he keeps getting brought back, but it's like, we know you're gonna break. We know. Why? Why do you keep getting brought back?
Obviously, he keeps getting brought back because he wants White Castle. I mean, that's just the thing. That's just the thing. And I'm not talking about the White Castle you buy from like the grocery store. I'm talking about the actual White Castle from a White Castle restaurant. Oh, Doug, White Castle's crap. Eat my fuck. Just don't you dare. No one badmouths White Castle. I will gladly take it from them. I would. Their chicken ring sandwiches. I wish I could say this video was sponsored by White Castle. Oh man,
I admit I have not eaten at an inside of an actual White Castle since I was like almost my teens.
Yeah, like
it's been a good bit.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Last time I had White Castle was back in 2009, I think, or 2010. Yeah, it's been over. Oh my god, it's been 11 years. Wait, no, yeah, Jesus. Oh my god,
You're like, oh no.
I haven't had them in. Whew, and White Castle's so good. So good. Oh, Doug, it gives you the shits. Yeah, fuck you. It does, yeah, that's just it's a small price to pay for having such good burgers. I mean, like, their burgers are just phenomenal, and their chicken ring sandwiches are even better.
I mean, to be fair, Taco Bell gives you the shits, and people still eat there.
That is
and
true.
That definitely doesn't classify as top tier. So
that is true. That is true. That is true. Oh man. Wish I could have like a God, I miss like when the state opens up or whatever. Well, the state's opening up on my end like right now-ish. So like I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm just gonna go on like another secret menu item hunt. Oh my god, have you ever actually done a secret menu item hunt?
Nah, I've heard of them, but I've never really actually done one.
When I first moved here to Cali, I was all like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do a secret menu item hunt, and I did, and it was one of the most rewarding experiences ever. That's when I found out and tried like a McGangbang. I was just like, oh, okay, that's a thing. For those who want to know, a McGangbang is a McDouble with a McChicken in the middle. Back then, it was like that costed around like I think it was like. For me, and this was years ago, because I moved here 2014 in Cali, and it was around $2.30 something. It was like $2.50 or $2.50 with $2.50 with tax. Then I tried like a double from like In-N-Out, and that like yeah. I even had like a Chipotle quesarito. You can ask them nicely. If you ask them nice enough, they'll take your Chipotle burrito and wrap it in a quesadilla. Back then, it ran me like $14. I don't even want to know what it's gonna run me now because like the steak burrito alone is like around like $11 now.
Good lord.
Yeah. Oh hell, I'd do that again, dude. Man, I'm fucking. There are tons of say what you will about fast food, I certainly do, but like some of the fast food you just cannot under any circumstances question. Like it's like for instance. KFC's Double Down. That shit was so delicious. Oh my god. That fucking sandwich was so good. And it's not just that. Like the Arch Burger from McDonald's was just as badass.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. One. Oh my god. And like the Taco Bell just removed its pizza like from the menu. It's gone now.
I didn't know it had pizza.
Yeah, their Mexican pizza's gone, and it's just like,
oh,
man.
That one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's sad. That's my childhood gone.
Pretty much. That's a lot of childhood. That's a lot of people's childhood gone. Like they're so good. Some of their like, yeah. Oh man. So like, okay. Out of curiosity, like, what was your favorite thing of fast food when it was still around?
That's a hard toss-up because technically there was a diner type thing that's on my side of town that used to be here. That was a small, like, family-owned thing.
Oh, okay.
That was more my favorite thing. It was called Jazzy's Hot Dog. And really, it was just, I guess you could say it's like Hot Dog Express or Winter Schnitzel, except that it was like a building where they played jazz music. You had tables. You could sit in there. They had different kinds of other foods too and desserts, but they specialized mainly in hot dogs. They had milkshakes too.
Oh wow.
And so it was only like 2 or 3 blocks from my house. So even me and Mom would just enjoy going there sometimes. I'd just go there and grab stuff. But I assume they closed down because of, money finances. But that was way, way back when I was like
Yeah.
12, 13, like way, way back.
Okay, yeah.
For something that's probably more popularized, I guess. Oh, a Frito pie from Sonic, which, depending where you live, was not a common thing.
Oh yeah, the Frito pie, because like that's a secret menu item, actually.
Mm-hmm. It originally wasn't. It used to always be on the menu, and then it dissipated and disappeared unless you were at specific ones where you knew, and then it's technically still there. It's just unless you know. Like, it became it, but it used to sit on the menu, like, prominently in its own thing.
Yeah, but then it became then for some reason it just became a secret menu item. Just same goes with in fact, like, despite being pulled off of the menu, you can still go to, like, Subway and get a pizza sub. I don't even know if that thing's back on the menu again. Yeah, so weird, right?
Well, it's because, they still technically have the supplies. Like,
yeah.
For Sonic's purposes, they still have Frito chips because they still use them on other stuff. You still have chili and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone was like, hey, make me a Frito pie, you'd be like, I don't know how to price it. Price it however the hell you price a thing with Frito chips. Like, just...
Oh,
like...
Oh, go ahead.
No, that was it. I was just like, there's... It's always weird to me when you get to a restaurant and I understand if you want to do substitutions or something and there's a cost exchange,
mm-hmm.
but realistically, there's a way you can figure that out, like, without having to be a mathematician. If someone wants to replace something with chicken and you obviously see the price of your burgers and your chicken is different, you can kind of guess.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be like, oh my god, your meal might be $20. You probably have to add 30 cents. Calm down. Like, your services are not, your labor is not that hard that the price is going to increase that dramatically unless you had to go hunt. If I go to Taco Bell and I say I want a quail quesarito, then yeah, you could bill me like $30. You probably had to go find that quail.
Yeah. Oh my god, Taco, like, but like, my thing, my favorite thing. Well, like, if you went to mom and pop shop, I'll do the same thing. There was like this there was like this pizza place that I lived next to, back in Jersey, and it had like the best motherfucking Sicilian pizza. It was so good, and like, you want to know how thick it. For those who are wondering how thick it is, it was like back then you could buy a whole Sicilian pizza for like $12, and it was so thick. It was as thick as put 3 of your fingers together, like your first 3 fingers, index, middle, and ring finger. That's how thick it, like, and then like it's
Good
like
Lord.
Yeah, it was like it was almost that thick, and it was $12. And we always grabbed, like, pepperoni and extra cheese on that motherfucker, and it was so delicious. Melts in your fucking mouth like a motherfucker. Crust was great. But in terms of, like, fast food, this is another thing that's only on the East Coast. It's called Gray's Papaya. It was this nice little chili cheese... Well, it was a hot dog joint. It was a franchise. So,
Yeah.
When I graduated and moved back to the East Coast after I grabbed my bachelor's degree, the recession really started to hit hard. So one of the things Grace Papaya did, and there weren't any in New Jersey. We'd go to like New York to get it. They had like this recession special. It was like 2 chili cheese dogs with like fries for like $4. And it was, oh my god, those chili cheese dogs were good. Those chili cheese dogs were really fucking good. Yeah. Like they're like. I'm not afraid to say, like, I think Grace Papaya is better than Wiener Schnitzel. And that's saying something, because I just had Wiener Schnitzel for the first time, like, 2 years ago.
What? Well, I can't judge too hard because I didn't have Wiener Schnitzel for a long time, but I had a comparable thing here.
Yeah, well,
because we don't have a Wiener Schnitzel here, but we have a Hot Dog Express that kind of does stuff pretty similar to it, but just not elaborate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
So then when I came to Cali, back when I first moved there, and then had actual Wiener Schnitzel, I was like, oh, okay. Because I'd heard about it, I just was like, oh. So it's similar to that. It's just less low budget.
Yeah. Dude, like, people were like, oh, you haven't had White Castle? Trust me, In-N-Out's better. They keep comparing In-N-Out to White Castle. You don't compare those two. They can't be compared. You can't.
Nah.
No, they're two
different things.
No,
franchise-wise, what they're trying to ring you in on, all that's different.
Yeah, they're too fucking different. There are a couple of secret menu items that I just straight up refuse to try, though. I forget which place does this, but get this. Someone, like, has this, you can order, like, a bacon shake. I think it's from Burger King. You can literally...
Wow.
Huh?
I was like,
I know, right? I mean, like... Ew, it's like, oh, Doug, people dip their sausages in syrup, and I will consider you just as weird. Like, I would never, ever do that. I think that's one of the most disgusting things on the fucking planet.
If it's breakfast type food sausage, okay. I'm like, if it's like a breakfast, like a sausage link for breakfast or something like that, and it's in like syrup, all right, I got you there. But if you were just like, here, get this Polish sausage, now throw maple syrup over it, no, not all those are apple. No, that's just like cheeses. There are a lot of cheeses. There are a lot of cheeses that taste good. Not all cheeses taste good on the same things.
Yeah.
You can find a cheese that will be bad for something eventually.
Yeah, you don't put goat cheese on a fucking burger. I don't care who says otherwise. You don't do that shit.
Somebody does. Somebody.
Oh, yeah,
and at least if you are going to put goat cheese on the burger, at least make the goat part of the burger so it's a goat burger.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep with the theme. Don't be like, here's a buffalo burger with goat cheese. And you're like, what? The goat wouldn't even hang with the buffalo. Why?
I could just, like, I'm trying to picture that, like a goat and a buffalo, like, sitting in a bar or something like that. That's never gonna happen. Buffaloes are just way too awesome.
You always see donkeys and mules floating around horses.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't ever see, like, a goat just chilling with a buffalo. Like, no.
No.
So, I mean...
The other one, like, I refuse to... Arby's Meat Mountain. I think that's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I think my body physically hates Arby's. I don't know why. It just does. There was a point where I kept trying to eat Arby's, and then my body would just be like, "Why have you done this sin to me?" And it wouldn't matter. Like, I would switch sandwiches. I got their gyro at one point. I tried all kinds of different, but every result is like, I'm going to make you sick every time you dare to try to eat.
Oh, okay.
I'm just like, Jesus. Like, but the curly fries, I'm fine.
Oh, yeah.
But like, the curly fries are perfectly fine for me. Yeah. But every time I try to eat any sandwich, my body's just like, I ain't about this sandwich.
No.
So I just kind of had to stop eating.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of food that turns you inside out, like, God damn it. Alright, so, you know how I can't have any seafood? Have I ever told you this?
Yes.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, every time I eat seafood, it just turns my stomach inside out, which sucks because my mom makes a badass, she knows how to make a badass, like, thing of lobster or some badass shrimp. Because that's like part of that's her and I think my sister's like favorite bits. And then I've seen them eat, like, I've seen my mom like boil up some octopus or whatever. Anyway, point is, I went on this one date with one of my exes. She's all like, "Oh, Doug, you're just treating this like you have to just try some of the seafood," because we went to a seafood joint. and you'll be fine. You just have to believe that you can eat it. And I'm just all like, okay.
What the heck?
I did, but like, my God, did that not work? I was in the bathroom for about 15 minutes. I had people like knocking on the door, and I'm just all like, I'm Ralphing, shut up!
Like, what? This is not Naruto. You can't just believe it and then it's gonna happen. It doesn't work like that. Like, what if you had an actual, like, deadly allergy? But like, just believe it! You'll be fine! Believe it!
Though I will say... I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at this. This is a Naruto where you can just believe it. And then it took a second to click for me. I'm like, Naruto, believe it was...
Yeah.
Like Naruto's thing. I will say this much though. I think I have I've come very close, or at least I think I found the Krabby Patty kind of.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, again, for those who don't know, one of the things that I would like to fancy myself as a burger connoisseur. I've always been on the hunt for like the Krabby Patty, the metaphorical perfect burger, and I think I found it in Hodad's. Because Hodad's, like, they only have like two locations now. One in downtown and the other in Oceanside. And I had their what's known as I had their burgers, and it's so delicious and tasty, and I think I found the one thing closest to the Krabby Patty, because I really, really want to try. If there's one thing of seafood that I want to try, it is SpongeBob's Krabby Patty, because everybody lines up for that motherfucker, and it is one of the most insanely popular things on the goddamn planet. Yeah. I like how I said that ironically.
You're like, I'm willing to suffer for that.
I am. Like, seriously. Considering how much, like, people love the shit out of the Krabby Patty. Like, how the hell can you not? I mean, like, first of all, you have to question the validity of undersea cheese. That's just not a thing. But even if it was ever a thing, I am willing to put my stomach to the...
I mean, sadly, it probably could be a thing. Because there's a lot of stuff under the sea we don't know about.
Well, yeah. And you know, and take from this what you will. Like, whales and dolphins give milk. Same goes with seals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's milk. It's just a question of you don't know whose. You just
pretty much.
We're just not talking about it.
That's one thing I don't.
Although
go ahead.
I was gonna say, although to be fair, there's a lot of things we don't talk about with regular cheese anyway, because you don't normally want to talk about the actual difference between like cheddar and all those paler cheese. It throws you away from wanting to eat cheese, even though you'll still eat it. But if it pops in your head that moment, you'll be like, "Nah, I'm good."
Well, like that Slurm Queen said it best on Futurama. Milk comes from a cow's behind. Honey comes from a bee's behind. You know where toothpaste comes from? You don't want to know.
Yeah. Don't want to.
No, you do not. Oh my god.
But I mean,
go ahead.
It's a true thing that you just don't think about, like all the products and stuff that you use and eat and stuff. And I here's my thing. I'm in a weird spot because I would love to be like, I'm an animal activist and I'm all about saving the animals. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I understand in the food chain why we eat animals, and that animals would not have that same sense of mercy for us, but we tend to have that pity just because we're the higher life form in terms of brain functions, to our knowledge at least. So I'm not going to stop eating meat. Like, I'm going to eat it, because any one of these animals, if they were hungry and I was out there, would eat. They would not put out a petition to save my life from the rest of the forest.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
It's circle of life. I'm eating.
Like for the record though, one of the things I've always wanted to try was impossible meat. However, every time I'm at the grocery store, it's just way too expensive. So, like, I just go with the cheaper alternative. I would like to try Impossible Meat. And if I like it better, if it tastes just the same, then I'm gonna stick with it. Mainly because, for the record, like, I don't want to eat animal. Like, I do embrace my nature, which is one of the themes that is central to the one thing I'm gonna talk to you about off camera. But in any case, like, to say that we're higher forms of life just because we understand each other, that's kind of like, because one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of talking animals is because they have been around a lot longer than we have for a reason. Even if you say, well, Doug, that's mainly because some of us are advocating for animal rights. Keep in mind, they are still surviving despite how shitty we've been. For example, whenever there's this one orca that's the alpha. I read this story. Whenever a male challenges him, the pack alpha would then lead the challenging male to an area where whaling is still legal. So it's not just that.
Well, damn.
Alligators, crocodiles, they will capsize your boat to make sure you are in the water. Bears will decorate their caves just because they can. There have been stories where there have been not stories, actual like things, actual proof that shows like ravens, crows, and wolves will work together. Like the raven / crow will lead the wolf to like this one animal that's still up and running, but it's on their last legs, and the wolf will just take it down. And while they're eating, and while the wolf is eating, the raven / crow will just come in, and the wolf's like, yeah, you can eat with me. I owe you that much. Animals have fallen in love with animal species have actually fallen in love with animals have fallen in love with different animal species. Different, like if you just watch this one thing called The Real Wild Animal Friends. It's one of the most heartwarming, adorable sons of bitches documentaries that you will ever watch. I'm serious, because like there's this one, like you'll see like this lion cub playing with this British bulldog, how a grizzly bear, Siberian tiger, and African lion are just buddy. In fact, like grizzly bears are starting to wise up to the fact that, like, you know how they say play dead when you're in front of when a grizzly bear's coming at you? Yeah, they're starting to wise up to that fact. So, like, you can still make yourself big and scary, but they're starting to wise up to the whole, like, you're playing dead, and they're like, oh, okay, you want to play dead? I think you're going to be really dead now, bitch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because at a certain point, the animal, when it happens so frequently, they're going to start to be like, wait a minute, everybody ain't just suddenly dying when I show up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me test it.
No, it's just, that's the thing. The animals have been around longer than us for a reason. Like, just because we have the tools and methods to destroy them, that doesn't mean they're just going to be gone like that. Like, yeah, you can cite the dodo, but, like, you can cite, like, the dodo and, like, other animal species, but, like, at the end of the day, they will adapt and adapt, like the Ranger Creed, adapt and overcome. Then they will do exactly that.
Well, and even with that, when you count in the dodo and such, you're counting in species that humans actively could take on. It's not like we've had a war against all tigers yet.
Oh,
like, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's not going to come out as light, even with gun. Same with most big type animals. Plus animals that don't give a fuck. Like, honey badger.
Oh, fuck
Honey
yeah.
badger alone can have fucking casualties lined up because he doesn't even care.
Mm-mm. Or the Wolverine.
You
or the
be
fucking
stupid and he'll
porcupine.
just be like, you better kill me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Komodo dragon.
Ooh.
That bitch is built to take on anything.
Yeah.
That is his design. There may not be a lot of them, but when they're there, they demand. They are like mini Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
They're wherever they are. That is their territory at that time. You just acknowledge it.
Hell yeah, dude. Fucking A, like, you think, okay, oh, you think you're so badass, Mr. Man? Why don't you beat up a hippo? Like, just go to a hippo. Try to beat that motherfucker up. See how well that goes for you.
Oh no, even better. Go fight a flamingo in its territory. That boiling water that it's always standing in. That can scald your skin off, and it's just chilling in one leg. Go in its territory. Go do it.
Amen to that, man.
That flamingo will win just the moment water splashes your face. He's just be like, pussy.
Yep.
Just push you in and be done.
Yeah, don't underestimate, like, the smallest animals just because they're, like, tiny or some shit. A good example is, when Tiger died, for those who are wondering who Tiger is, it was our German Shepherd. I was 4, my brother was 8, we thought he looked like a tiger and we just called him that. When Tiger died, all the animal and all of the wildlife took notice because he had the backyard under lock and key to the point where animals were paying him rent. So rats and possums were just coming out of the fucking woodwork. All of a sudden, I don't know where this happened. Like, we were having, like, exterminators come in, make sure, like, the rats, they don't go into our building and stuff like that. But then, out of nowhere, gophers just moved in. And the gophers, they fucking just destroyed gophers do not give a shit. Like, all the rats and stuff like that, they were like, nope. Snakes were like, I don't want to have anything to do with the gopher. Nope. They all ran the fuck away.
Because I mean, they're normally under the ground, but territory-wise, how are you going to challenge something that can burrow anywhere, regardless? Because, like, if you could be like, like, even snake-wise, if he gets pulled in there, he's fucked.
Yeah.
There's nothing he can do. He doesn't have arms and legs. He can't pull himself out. The gopher just has to bite and go back in the hole.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Speaking of snakes, and here's another thing that I'm saying, animals are, whenever a snake is going after squirrels will start waving their tail back and, from side to side. It's like they just do it because snakes, for those who don't know, snakes see in body heat. So, when the squirrel starts wagging its huge-ass tail from side to side, it's confusing the snake. That's not something that's not instinct. That isn't instinct. That has to be practiced, learned. Like, animals are capable of doing that. Like, so, that's why I'm saying, don't think animals are just stupid just because, we don't, we understand each other when we're actually speaking, and we use tools, which is stupid in and of itself, because animals uses tools all the time. From chimpanzees to birds when they're building nests, to beavers when they're building their dams. Hell, chimpanzees, when 2 chimpanzee clans are at war, they'll actually take hostages and do hostage negotiations, for God's sake. I wish I could say I'm making this up, but it's not. No. Ravens will hold funeral services for their fallen. Elephants, elephants will actively get drunk because they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, every animal, or I should say species of animal, kind of has their own quirks that they picked up over time.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it, some of it has been geared just because of the existence of humans. Like, because we suddenly entered the world for where they exist, they're like, okay, well, I'm going to just do this now.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't necessarily doing it before we existed, but since we existed, yeah, that's a thing now. Because...
Yeah. Here's another funny animal story that I got for you. There was this one. She went on either Twitter or TikTok, telling people of a specific McDonald's to stop feeding her dog cheeseburgers. Because get this, it's like there's this lady. She has a dog. And she feeds regularly, and she actually had a video dedicated to that, talking about how she this is the food I give my dog every day before I go to work, and then when I come back from work, because I feed her twice a day. Every night, that dog would sneak out, go to a McDonald's, that has its drive-through still open, sit and just look like, the dog's malnourished, and customers would give her cheeseburgers. Like, they would just do that. I'm just all, and she had to go to TikTok and stuff like that and like basically say stop doing that, which is weird. Which I really should like tell people. If you're gonna feed your dog like cheeseburgers or whatever, don't give them onions. Stay away from onions, chocolates, grapes, and a couple of other things because it's actually bad for their system. When I was taking care of a neighbor's dog, like I did the research as to what the best thing to feed that dog was. So, like, you can give them beef. You can give them horse, but they fucking hate it. Chicken. Goat. No, it's true. Like her name was Carolina. I don't want to get into why it was, but like anyway, when I had her under my care, because a neighbor was in the hospital, I looked up like okay, like I understand that I asked neighbors that knew the dog, what does she eat? And they were all like everything. So I'm like okay, that was a stupid answer because like dog's palate, like it does, like they can't have red meat. So I'm looking. So I started googling stuff. Like I did make a couple of like rare bloody burgers, or rather burger patties, and I just gave them to her while I'm trying to figure out what the hell dogs eat. And some of the foods that you want to stay away from are onions, grapes, a couple of other things here and there, but like chocolate being one of them. Chocolate actually makes them throw up. Same goes with coffee. They don't do coffee beans at all. So and I was like, okay, hi Carolina. So I'm giving her like the horse meat, and she's like smelling that. She's like looks at me, and she's like, no, dude, throw this shit out. I'm like, okay. So I just give her I just give her the beef, chicken, what have you. She'll chomp those down. She chomped those down like a motherfucker. Second I gave her goat, she was just all like, nope. And I'm just all like, okay. So I just threw it out and threw the other can out and like went out and grabbed some more like beef, chicken, that whole deal. And yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, because I never tried to feed dog that. But two, I didn't know they had such a disdain for it to be like, no, this meat is not of my caliber.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, because you'd think they'd be fine with horse meat, but nope. You want to know how smart Carolina was? When I first took her in, first thing she did, she looked at my fridge, opened it. She opened that shit. And I'm just all like, no, hey, get out of that. She's like, yeah,
like,
try, well, okay, why don't you make it? She's all like, why don't you make me? I'm like, okay. So I had to like pick her up. And this was like a fully grown like fucking Rottweiler. Like, she's heavy as shit. So I'm just like, get out of my fucking fridge. So I had to like, And every time that I'm like going out to use the bathroom, she'd always like, Doug's gone. Guess I can sleep. Guess I can lie down on his bed. I'd come back. I'd be like, you dick, you fucking dick, off my bed. In fact, when I'm just all like,
you were leaving,
huh?
It's thought you were leaving. That's their territory now. Like, are you gone? Okay.
And I know she got her revenge on me. I can tell you this right now with 100% conviction, because like me and two other neighbors, we were talking, and there was this one then we were just talking about random shit, and here she is, and I'm like, hey Caroline, I want to say hi to the neighbors, and like here she is, she's coming, she's not like running, but you know how dogs like just power walk.
Yeah.
So here she is power walking. Her snout fucking rams my goddamn balls. She rammed them into me. She's like, and I'm like, oh, you fucking. She's like, yeah, that's what you get for not letting me sleep on your goddamn bed, you prick.
She knew. She was
Mm-hmm.
like, I could stop early, but nah.
No, she did not stop. She was like, she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. Animals are smart, motherfucker. Do not take them for granted. Oh, Carolina. You dick. Anyway, but yeah. Wow. This is weird. Started out with Kentaro Miura, ended up here.
Yeah, that's a pretty far journey considering it was supposed to start about writing and then we got into food.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I love these podcasts. Hey, we really should talk about like, well, because it's getting to be that time when we should like stop recording. So I might as well just start by asking, hey, because this will be on the final build. If you decide to like, if you decide to give me the middle finger, I will fucking take it. Because like we really should talk about when we could do the dissections. Because I really think we should start off with the Mass Effect trilogy, seeing as how the Legendary Edition is out and about right now.
Yeah, I saw that recently because I was in debate about getting it to fill in gaps of things that I hadn't played.
Well, I mean, I still maintain the fact that, like, if you didn't play Mass Effect 2 or any of its DLCs, it doesn't matter. Because, like, Mass Effect 3 still does happen. Oh, Doug, there were characters in there. Yeah, there were characters in Mass Effect 2. Problem with them is they've been shifted to the sidelines in Mass Effect 3, so don't give me that shit. That said, well, no, it's true. And, like, no, it's up to you, Captain K. Like, if you want to buy it, fine. If you want, like, why don't I just send you... I can send you my Steam credits, and then you can play Mass Effect 2.
That would work if I had a decent enough computer that Steam credits would be proficient.
Oh. Wait, do you not have a good machine?
Not currently. I'm working.
Alright, well,
Currently, I am... How do I put it? I'm currently, in terms of a desktop, using a computer that at one point was working with Windows Vista.
Well,
That was its top tier.
Well, to be fair, I mean, that's not the end of the world.
I had to go through a bunch of upgrades to the computer just to get it to achieve Windows 10. It ain't gonna do that Steam well.
Okay. Well, if you...
Like I will wait till if I'm gonna get it, I'll probably get it on console. But I'm waiting all my computer games and Steam and everything else till I get an actual computer that I'll be decently able to play on instead of one that I'm gonna be frustrated because I'm gonna be playing it like shit.
All right, fair enough. Well, I'm offer's still available. But yeah, that said, it might be like a good time to say what this video isn't sponsored by because oh my god, this is our second podcast where we talked about like fast food and shit. Oh, so this podcast isn't sponsored by Arby's because it fucks with Captain K's stomach. But while their curly fries might be good, keep in mind their meat mountain looks disgusting. That said, well, it does. Have you seen their meat? Like, just Google Arby's Meat Mountain. It's one of the most disgusting fucking pieces of shit that you could ever, like, it's so bad. All their meats with, like, just 2 slices of cheese and, like, it's this huge blob of...
It's, for their logo of we have the meats, it's true. Because they have it on display. It's there.
Yeah, that's true, but it's still fucking gross. I mean, that thing looks so ugly. Ugly. I don't want to try it at all. And that's saying something, because, like, I'm willing to try, like, a quad stack Whopper, one day. And for those who are wondering what a quad stack Whopper is, it's literally 4 Whopper patties, a thing of cheese, and whatever else goes into the Burger King Whopper.
Yep.
Yeah. That said, you take care, everybody, and later on.